Tia. We're back with Farming Simulator 22, FS22. We may have been playing a lot of hours this weekend, but yes, we've learned quite a bit. It looks like they have a farming-simulator.com academy, so we'll probably be checking that out later. Probably not on the stream, but like on my personal stuff. That way I can learn some more stuff. Good morning, Celtic. How are you this fine morning? I woke up at 3 a.m. and had a cup of coffee and went back to sleep for 2 hours, and I'm back up again. So I'm technically on my last bit of my first cup. So I did want to start a new save today. Having a little bit of trouble deciding if... I mean, we could do this save too. This is perfected and lots of hours on it. But I know you guys like to see progress. So we're going to go ahead and click this one. Now this is where I had the trouble. This one has you in super heavy debt and the economy's bad, so prices are low and you've taken out a lot of credit with the bank, and so I don't believe in taking credit out myself. I've gotten over that. I'm good now. I don't want to go back to that, so we can't do the hard start. The easy start, you start off with a farm and 2 pieces of land and some equipment and stuff like that. It's pretty easy starting, but you don't get to pick where you start. Farm managers, medium settings. We don't have your own land, but you have, I think, $1.5 million, which you guys know none of us have that. But you get to pick where you start. So I'm tempted to go over here and see what we can do here, but I'm kind of torn between these two right here. Dun 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 dun. Grain prices are decent. Gameplay elements are standard. I don't know. We'll try this one. I looked at the other maps. So this one's more like German Swedish. This one's French, and this one's American. And the reason we're gonna go ahead and select Elm Creek is because all of the stuff's in complete English, whereas this one has a little bit of a different language in it, and that's a-okay. But I get confused enough as it is with just basic English, so I don't need any more confusion in my life at the moment. All right, and start. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Good morning, Mike. I'm sure you're super happy to be back at the office. This one. I perfected character creation in this game, by the way. I'm super fast at it now. There we go. All done. Totally super happy about it, right? Alright. We need lime, but I think if you drive over the crops and spray lime on it, I think it will freak out. Oh, we started with new. We don't have any land. We have nothing. This is in our farm. Yeah, exactly, Mike. When I first started, though, I didn't know there was ways to customize. And they had like a racer suit and some other gear and stuff that I would not wear. They had one outfit that was pretty close, but it had avatar glasses and a baseball cap. And I'm trying to hide my identity from, the mob, so I think I'm good. Alright. Morning, Warnick. Do 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 do. As you can tell, I sold everything on the farm. No, I'm just joking. So fresh start today. Hi, Lazy. Good morning. And we are looking around. I think Warnick said that when he did it, he bought this spot right down here, which I think is a beautiful piece of land, and we'd be able to put in our own stuff down here. But I am looking around a little bit to see what we're doing. I tried to buy this place at one point because it has 80, 81, and 82 in it, and this range back here. But you can't delete any of these buildings. You bought 73, not 71. Uh-oh. Where's 73? Oh, you bought this one. Oh, okay. Well, let's hit P for purchase. Go down here to this. Little 3 stripes in the farmland. So you bought this one. Oh, golly, that's quite a bit more. What's the worst place to start? I would argue this spot right here was not comfortable. But it would have made up for it later. And then this spot up here had these buildings and I couldn't get rid of them. And it's a lot of zigzag and it's far away. But yeah, there's quite a few different little things going on. I was trying to figure out. The grain mill's up here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But the trains are down here along this route. Hey, that's alright, man. That's alright. I like 71. 71's much better. I like 72 as well. So many choices. Could go here too. Dun 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 dun. I just need a place where I can put my own grain mills and bakeries and stuff in as well. So I'm not just thinking I just need a house and a place to put tractors. I'm thinking longer term where I want my whole little farming village to be. Yes, that's right. We're making a farming village. You just thought it was all about tractors. It's not. It's about the production chain. I mean, heck, we might even get a fast food restaurant. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Any early tips for my first run? If you're actually starting out brand new newbie, I would highly recommend doing the tutorial and actually reading it. I know, me recommending reading. I not read good. But it was a huge game changer that I actually read it. And please keep in mind that I only have like 30. I know, right? You probably watched my first video. That was so painful. I slept and then I skipped a year, and because seasons was on, the wheat withered, and I didn't know that the wheat was withered, so I didn't know why the combine wasn't working. It's a horrible, horrible thing that happened. But it was pretty funny. Another tip I would give is if you're on the actual map here, you can quick travel. So click this button, space to visit, boop, and we're here. So you can get around the map just TP in as well. It doesn't cost anything if you just want to go look around. You don't have to run there. You can just fast travel. That's about all the tips I have because I am still a newbie nooblet at this fun game. But I have him sinking in lots of hours because it's just fun. I found I like fertilizing more than anything else. It's just nice and relaxing, and I go do stuff. Okay, I'm looking. I'm seeing if there's any spots that would be better for our place of business. I need to be near water. I think this is water here. The reason I need to be near water is you can take the filling tank, the water tank, and drive it and back it into some water, like do a little loop-de-loop with your tractor and leave the back end into the water, and you can fill it up for free versus having to pay for water out of the little sprout stuff. So I like that. We have too much money. I feel like $1.5 million is too much money, but I know we're going to be crying because we're going to be broke soon. So you bought this space because that is actually a really nice lot of land right there. Is that a road right there too? It looks like a road. Downloading now, right? Yes, 100% read the tutorial versus, you know me, I'm all skippity skip when I do stuff. And it bit me. It bit me pretty hard. Alright, let's go visit the carpentry shop real quick. That way we can see where we're going. Alright, so this land over here would be mine if I bought the same one as you. I know, I really like this. This is nice. I'm just seeing if there's any road. Okay, there is a road right there. Boom. Warnick, you convinced me with little to no effort on your part. I like that. That is a lot of room to build. Alright, we're gonna buy this. Yes, we're sure. So 73 is where we're gonna start at. Thanks to Mr. Warnick here. And we're pretty close to some water, so we can just drive over there and fill up and then come back over here. Alright, so this is our land. We're gonna go ahead and make this pretty easy here. I have to keep hitting space because I need to see where everything's at. Alright, so P for purchase, construction, buildings, farmhouses. There's only one. Boop. Now when you place a building, it does flatten the ground right around it, so this is going to be fun trying to make sure everybody's happy. But this is good enough. I don't need to drive any tractors or anything in there, so we're good. Alright. Here's the hard part, because I have not messed with any of these fun things. I do know that I would like a couple greenhouses, but we're not ready for any of that yet. We are ready for nothing. Now, because I have the municipal signs, we are going to do that. So buildings, production, generators. If you do power and stuff, it'll be $16 an hour, $33 an hour, $82 an hour, so on and so forth. We're not doing the government one because that's just an insane amount of money, and we don't. That's too much. We're not trying to easy street it. But I do want to be able to cover wages. So we are gonna grab one of those guys. Actually, let me destroy that. Destroy. Maybe. Yes. Okay. Excuse me, sir. I need you. No. I need you to turn around. Turn around, bright eyes. There we go. We're going to put it over here because we are slightly clumsy with vehicles. Okay, let it go. Let it go, Elsa. Alright, that will generate us $350 an hour. Actually, let's go ahead and pause this. 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, something. Or maybe it's just paused. Oh, there it goes. Okay, 7. Alright, so it's at 0.5 hours right now up at the top where the 854 is. It'll go 0.5 speed. Alright. I do know we want basics. So pretty. We have so much land. Try not to ruin it all by being super uneven. All right. P for purchase, construction. We are not getting barns to put things in because we are super clumsy and it just sounds like a way to get us in trouble. And I just need a hayloft. Interesting. Store crops. Do these store multiple crops or only a crop? I guess is my question. Because I know on ours they have a fertilizer one. So that can be filled with different products. So that can be filled with fertilizer. Do 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 do. Turn this around, because we always want that facing the road as much as we can. So many things. Look at all this room for activities. Cheese and crackers. That's a lot of room. Alright. We don't absolutely need the fertilizer silo here. It's just something that's convenient. But I kind of wanted it. But that's okay. Alright, we have a house. And we have an empty field. We're living the dream, guys. We got dirt and a house. It's beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing. Alright. So we'll need tractors. We'll need a tractor at minimum. And we'll need the little fertilizer spreader I like. Yeah, sorry, I'm not super organized with this. I was still a little shy on what I wanted to do here. Carpentry. Okay. P for purchase. Vehicle. Oh, let's look at the sales. Okay, cool. I don't know what any of those do. Bale loader eases the collection of bales, but it looks like for maybe a square bales. We don't need that yet. We're not there. Do 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 do. Medium tractors. So growing up, we had John Deere's and cases. Oh, there's a case right there. Our case was white though. Do 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 do. Front loader. Oh, hey, how did you know I was curled over my keyboard? Thank you, Warnick. I was leaning forward just a little bit. Well, I guess what we're looking for is the horsepower, because this determines whether or not we can run certain things. So this is a 280 to 300. And it has a front loader attacher thing. So this is the beast. Stretch. Thank you, lazy. I feel like this is a lot of money for a tractor. I was able to get a really big one for sale for $65,000. That was a $200,000 tractor. Now I feel really bad about buying a $200,000 tractor. Check used. That's this right here, right? Yeah, there wasn't any tractors at all. But yeah, it was a really big, the medium size black one was really pretty. But it was 70 or 65% off. But sadly, that is not the case at the moment. Do 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 do. That's a 130 to 140. Yeah, so this determines like what kind of stuff it can pull. That's why we're checking this right here, the horsepower. See, I know more than I did the other day. That's a 190. Slight step up. 175. Do 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 do. Yeah, we're gonna go with this big fella. Wait, that's 31 miles an hour. This one is 21. So it's faster and bigger. So we'll take this one. We're gonna customize. I understand nothing and love it. Lazy, that's how I feel. That is 100% how I feel. I was like, I don't know what any of this does, but we're gonna click it. Alright, I don't even know if this... Oh, it makes it bigger. So that would make it a 300 horsepower. So much. Front load attacher, yes. Wheel setup. Why would you need 2 tires at the back? And 2 tires in the... Jeez. Wheel weights, wide tires. We'll do wide tires and weights. We're just adding to this thing. All of our money's going into the tractor. We're gonna go with Michelin tires because that's the only one I recognize. Standard wheel setup. We're amping up the engine and we're adding a front load attacher. 404 J DT. Oh, nice. I can use the keyboard. License plate. No, dang it. 404. No, guys. 4. I'm breaking things. All right. 404 JDT. Okay. Buy for all my monies. Oh, never stepped on a farm? I grew up on a farm, but after sorting through all the vehicles at these places over here, I feel really weird because we definitely didn't have all this fancy stuff. I'll tell you that much. John Deere tractor. Doom, doom, doo, 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 doo. 404 JDT. So that means the John Deere tractor is not found. Alright, so we're still here shopping for some vehicles. You can also, instead of hitting P for purchase, you can just walk up here to the sign and click R. The way to switch vehicles is hit tab. Alright, so we got the tractor. We need our fertilizer. Poor little guy. Fertilizer spreaders. This little guy, I don't care about any of these other things. I was going to say a bad word, but I'm sorry. I almost said a bad word. These guys suck. This one is amazing. It's the best one. This is the best one, even though it's the cheapest, because it can spread a super long distance. So, wait, this one says 42 meters as well. It's the same brand. What? So the reason it's such a big deal for me is this teeny tiny little tractor can, if you fill it up completely, can do the biggest field in the game without running out of fertilizer. And it's got a spread of 42 meters, 42 miles. This guy can spread, right? But yeah, and look at this little guy. This guy can only spread 12 meters. So you can see why this one would be optimal for what we need. And these both go 11 miles an hour. But this is like almost 2.25 times more expensive. And this one's like, pew. Now this one, it looks like it can spread lime too. So maybe it's a 2-for-1 deal. That's why it's such a good deal. But no. Yeah, this is a much better spread on it. This is the same thing, only it can hold 4 tons of stuff. Or, sorry, 10k liters versus 3200. Yeah. So if you have extra money, this one would probably be good, just to fill it up. But if you don't mind filling it up, this one's the best one. The best. Yeah, these all hold more, but these two spread just a teeny tiny bit. KG in numbers and vehicle weight. Okay. Yeah, so this is how much it holds, right? The first part right here. Yeah, these hold a lot, but these two, Brindle's not my friend. We'll just put it that way. But these two, I haven't even messed with this one. We don't have this one anywhere. Lime is like a fertilization thingy. It adds, you can turn lime off, by the way. There are so many settings in this game you can turn on and off, which is another thing we probably need to discuss later. Probably after buying all the things I need. But I kind of want to get this one now, but I'm so used to this one. This one's nice and compact, and I can just zip through and be done. So we're going to go ahead and... I don't want any of that. I just want this. Are we not in the purchase? Details. Oh, there we go. Buy. Yes, please. Okay. Yeah, some of the fields will tell you needs lime. I think it's the same as, like, if you have plowing on, I think every 3 times it needs limed and plowed. That's basically what I was hearing yesterday. But I'm not the expert on that, and I usually have some of that stuff turned off. Alright. So pallet. We're going to go with solid fertilizer. Wait. Pallet. There we go. Solid fertilizer. Purchase. Yes, sure. Okay. Okay. Do 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 do. You guys should be amazed. Look at all the things I can do now. Yes, it looked like I was just backing the trailer up, but that's so much better than what I used to be able to do. Alright, and R to refill. There we go. Recently rediscovered Anon 1404. I actually purchased that. It was on sale the other day. It was on my wish list for a really long time because I was waiting for a really cheap price. Oh, okay. When you get your... I didn't know which silos to grab, Warren. So happy. The fertilizer spreader is my important thing that I know how to do, and I like it a lot. Oh, we're talking settings. That's what we're doing. So we're going to hit escape, scroll all the way down to this little truck with the config on it. This is going to be season 1 with no S's in it. There we go. It saves every 15 minutes. We're going to make the economy difficulty easy. Will affect the buying prices and selling prices and the revenue of contracts. So we're keeping that. We'll keep the crazy drivers on. If you turn seasonal growth off, you can plant what you want when you want. If you have seasonal growth on, you don't get to pick what you get to plant. It's based on the calendar. We're only doing 1 day per month because we can slow down a day to last like 8 real hours, if not more. We'll leave snow on the ground. Yeah, so the traffic. These guys slam into my truck. Okay, so in all fairness, I do sometimes run them over. But I have been run over many times in this game, even when I'm driving like a responsible adult. And they drive really fast. They don't obey stop signs either. They just drive. Crop destruction, we're going to turn this off because I am a really bad driver. What crop destruction is if you drive on the crop, it will destroy it. So when I was over on Deuce's server, the Deuce community over there, and I pulled in to get some fertilizer, and it was really dark, and I didn't realize that driving over a piece of the thing would ruin the crop, and sure enough, it sure did. So we're going to turn that off. Periodic plowing. I'm going to turn that off because I haven't found a plow that works. It's giving it, right? Right? Oh man, could you imagine how the traffic would change if it was based on your driving habits? Oh my god. That would be bad. That would be so bad. Fieldstones, so little stones and big stones appear in your farm, your field when you plow it. And it can actually damage your equipment pretty good. So we're leaving that on. We'll leave lime on, and we'll leave weeds on. Dirt, we are going to turn that down to slow. Warnock was using what's that called? Pressure washer last night. I didn't even see it until he was messing with it. I'm like, what the heck's that? Automatic is fine. We have air conditioned cabs. I'm fine with automatic starting. Fuel limits off. So basically, if it gets like 70-80% full, it's too heavy, and you have to pull it then. You can't just fill up the trailer. We have that off, so it'll just fill up the trailer like we want it to. Fuel usage is normal. When you hire workers, you can turn this off, where they don't automatically buy this, but if you leave it on and hire a worker, they'll give it back to you exactly like you had it. Like your fuel will still be at the same, your fertilizer will still be at the same because they're buying it as they're using it. Hi Bee, thank you for the lurk. But yeah, so we didn't turn too many things on. I kind of want regular stuff on so I can plant what I want to, but I'll leave it alone. Maybe. It's kind of like a coin toss right now. I think, yeah, we'll leave this on because it's a nice level of difficulty. We don't need to do it. It's a save game. Space. We are using a mouse and keyboard. We don't have any fancy steering wheels or pedals or side panels. Apparently people have like huge setups for this, which is really cool. But I don't have any of that. I have a mouse and a keyboard. Merton. Leave all the buying products off. You leave all that off? Yeah. I leave them on there because sometimes I have like 1% fertilizer and I want to finish a field, so I'll just hire a worker so I don't have to go back and get lime. I'm not gonna lie. And we did turn crop damage off, right? That's my biggest thing because I like my shortcuts, okay? Off. Okay. Don't judge me. Also, I forgot where our home is already. So we're going to hit 9 to open up the mini map a little bit bigger. Okay, sweet. So we're just south of the store. Doobie doobie doobie. We go down here and jump the railroad tracks. Yeah, Warnock, that's a really nice spot. I like that a lot. We'll be able to get a lot of stuff situated. Do 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 do. Ah, ah! Come on, John, you can do it. Whoo! Ah, train was coming too. Dun dun dun. Dangerous living right there. All right, this is why I like this spreader. Because it gets all the way out there. And you can zoom all the way out if you need to, guys. Which is really nice. 9 to turn the mini map off. Look at that. It's so beautiful. You're set up in the middle with 45, 44, 45, and 46. Nice. Yeah, Warnick introduced this nice place to us because it's got a really big field and then it's got a lot of land to build stuff on. Crouch counter +1. Your hand's going to get tired of keeping track of those numbers. Once I get past 2 hands, I don't have any number trackers anymore. Another thing, if you don't actually need it to spread that wide, you can actually hit Control Z and it will reduce the spreader. You see how the little blue lights are less and more? So we're going to do that real quick and there. Oop. Tia, you're missing a whole thing. There we go. I'll be back for that later. Nothing in this game is quick. Besides, if you want to speed up time, you can go to sleep for days or weeks or months or however long you want to sleep. Because crops don't pop up the next season, they just do what they do. Oop. Again with the tiny spot. B. Alright, now we're going to make 2 teeny tiny spots. Control Z all the way down. B to start the thing. Now the vehicle only goes as slow as that when the items on the back are on, and the items on the back that are attached will determine the speed of your vehicle. Well, it can go 33 miles an hour just fine. As soon as this thing comes on, the fastest it can go is 11. Alright, beautiful. Nice and fertilized there. Now, we did fertilize it all once, and it'll only show 50% versus 100%, even though we did that, because it has to be fertilized twice for some reason. See, it only says 50% on there. That was a nice add-on for 40. Actually, oh. Yeah, sometimes when you hit escape, it goes ahead and save. I was going to look at the map again. Scroll up. This little icon's map. You said you were in 44, 45. Okay, so this is the starter farm, by the way. If you start on, like, starter farm, it'll give you this house and a few machines to get started with, as well as the tutorial. That is a really good place to start out. On my other save, the one we started last week, I have these 3 fields and these 3 fields. So I'm doing okay on that one. I just wanted a nice big open spot this time. While you're on the map, there's also certain things you can do. You see all the different colors. It's different types of crops. Let's turn off sunflowers. Sunflowers on, sunflowers off, sunflowers on, sunflowers off. Okay, so there you go. There's that. You can hit grass and radish stuff. So 71's a grass field. There you go. These are the things that these are in. Sorry, my words are hard. The states that they are in. So this is cultivated, but it's not seed bed, it's not growing, it's not ready to harvest, it's not stuff like that. So if it's a red, I'll hold off on that. Hold on a second. Soil composition. There we go. So fertilized has 2 colors. It has light blue and dark blue. Light blue is the 50%, and the dark blue is the 100% ready to go. So as you can see, mine's only 50%. Some, like 75 here, needs plowing. Let me see. So you can see how many on the map need plowing. Not the brown, but the reds. It all needs plowed. Fertilized. Weeds. Needs lime. I don't like lime. I like lemon. So yeah, they have quite a few things on here. I really like it. There's quite a few things. Like you got your hotspots here. You can turn them on and off, so you can see where stuff is. And then your crops back to this. But yeah, that's what it looks like. This one's brown because it doesn't have anything. There's nothing on this field yet. Oh, we were talking about that, weren't we? Another thing. So we're gonna go to the, I believe, calendar. Yes. Because we have seasonal on, which means we don't get to pick what crops we plant, which kind of makes me a little sad, Panda, but that's okay. We could plant canola. That's the only thing we can plant in August is canola. So we're not actually going to plant anything today. We're going to sleep, and then September we're going to drop in some wheat or barley. And would still be able to do canola if we wanted to. If you didn't have seasons on, like if you turn seasons off, you can plant whatever you want whenever you want. Oh, nice. You can grow trees. I know that they had it was like, guys, we're gonna play Lumberjack Dynasty in Farm Sim 2020 or 2022 FS22. It's gonna take me a while to get that name right. But yeah, grass is all year long. Oilseed radish, you don't actually harvest. You till back into the soil, and it's a boost to production. So we were trying to harvest this the other day and we weren't able to do it. It's because this is just like a organic fertilizer type of situation. But you plant these, grow them, and then till them in the soil, and you get an extra yield out of it. We're not going to be doing any of that fancy stuff. Canola, oats. Yeah, so we're going to do some wheat. I like wheat and barley, but wheat is what we used to grow when we were kids. Alright, so here's those rocks I was talking about. These are the little ones. But there are some big ones as well. I don't see any right now, but are those mushrooms? There's mushrooms in my field. I'll grow mushrooms. Alright, so we'll need a rock collector. Everyone loves weeds. Yep, thankfully you can turn those off if you want to. Alright, buddy. I'm going to park you right here. Q to drop attachment. Boop. No, I like coffee. Right? It's okay if you don't like coffee. I mean, that means more for me, but yeah, a lot of people do drink the teas. And that's a-okay. Oh, these little thingies. E to exit. There we go. We're going to come over and we're going to pick these up. They're worth a little R to collect. They're worth $1,000 a piece. Some of them are worth $10,000 a piece. And then once you get, there's 10 types of collectible, and there are 10 of each collectible. So when you collect all of them, you'll have 1,000,000 monies. Because when you collect a whole set of 10, you get 100,000 monies. Doobie doobie doobie, doop 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 doop. Doobie doop 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 doop. I need more coffee, guys. I'm almost out. And we're just gonna play today. I have no time limit today, so we're just gonna play. You're English. You bottle-fed tea. That's okay. I actually enjoy green tea quite a bit, and I like hibiscus tea. It's also another one I like. I picked that habit up in Egypt. Alright, remember, we don't have to come here to hit this R button to buy things. We can actually just hit P, and it's a purchase button. Okay, so, guys, we came here for something. rocks. Alright. Doobie doobie doobie. We need rock removers. De-rockify. Rock rollers. Rock and rollers. Stone pickers. There we go. Doobie doo. We're going to pick this one because it's comfortable. And buy. Yes. Okay, no, thank you. Yes. My very first deployment back when I was a teeny tiny kid was Egypt. Was my first military deployment. Do 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 do. And I do have crop destruction off, so we oh, I did 20 years in the military. Lazy. I was a National Guardsman, but I did 4 overseas tours and many stateside emergency things. So, yeah, I got a lot more overseas time in Iraq and Afghanistan than a lot of full-time Army people did. You did 4 years? Nice. Yep. Alright, let's see here. I haven't got the spread on the rock thing situated yet. Like, my brain hasn't situated it. But we'll see if we got it. Let's see here. And X to unfold. Victor to lower. B to turn on. Now we don't have to cover it quite as good as we did like with the fertilizer spreader, but we need to get it pretty close because we need to make sure all the rocks get snacked up. That way our equipment doesn't get torn up. Somebody said that the rocks don't affect yield, but they haven't been able to confirm that. You can also hit 3 for cruise control, so hands off the keyboard right now, which is a very nice feature if you have a longer field like this. And rock collecting is much easier after on a clean field like this versus one that has stubble all over it. Victor to lift. Rocks just they do. It took chunks out of it. Years off my life. Victor to lower. 3. And I'm going to step away from the keyboard for 5 seconds to get coffee. My God, who's driving this thing? Okay, coffee's going. You think it's a bug, but the machine seems to cultivate behind as well? I mean, that'd be swell if it did. Have a good day. Mornick, I'll see you later. Thanks for swinging in. Yeah, I hopped on Deuce's network for a minute earlier today. Was able to knock out 2 1100 or 11,000 monies contracts. It was nice. Okay, and switcheroo. Do 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 do. Yes, this is the entire game, but it's really relaxing. Oh nice, the tracks disappear. Bye tracks! And lift. So right now we have 2,851 or 250 liters. Ah, it's probably 285 liters. That's probably what that number down there means. V to lower. Oh yeah, see the texture difference? That little lines and stuff. Interesting. Yeah, but it picks up the rocks, like I said, because this really does like ruin some poor tractor's day rolling through here. There's another place that really needs to be stone picked in what's that? FSF network, Deuce's network over there. Because I have to go fertilize or cultivate that one quite a bit, and it's got giant rocks in the field. So I started renting equipment to go fix it instead of using ours because it would wreck our stuff so badly. I know this isn't as exciting as pottages, guys, but you're just gonna... This is what we're doing today. This is it. We're still in learning mode because we are very much newbies at this game still. Oh, Goober, you gotta lower it. V. No, not attach. V. In this one. Alright. B. Okay, there we go. I was like, it was something. Something wasn't right. Alright, my coffee's ready. We're gonna chance stepping away one more time. I'll be right back. There we go. That's much better. Fresh coffee. It's nice not a first person driving. Oh yeah, I don't, you can't see in first person drive, but I can't put my arms out in this thing, and it makes me feel smushed it in. So I like to get a little space. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Bon. Yeah, farming, exactly. And we'll have a production chain one of these days once we have enough money. Well, we have a lot of money right now, but we don't have many stuff. So what we're doing right now is taking care of the stuff and buying things as we go instead of just buying a whole lot of stuff. So as we cultivate this field, we'll slowly buy things. 17 before. Yeah, I'm actually super new to the FS network. This is actually my first farming simulator series to play. And I mean that as the franchise, because I play a lot of farming things, because I like farming. It's my favorite thing to do. I'm playing Myth of Empires right now when I'm farming. I'm actually a really good farmer in that game. I play Medieval Dynasty, and I mostly farm in that game. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful day today. I woke up at 3, got up, played some of this and Myth of Empires, and then went back to sleep for a couple hours, and then got up. So, we're just doing this today. We bought a brand new place down here at, let's see here, 73. We bought 73 lot, and it's got a really huge field on it and a lot of space. So I'm pretty excited to actually have my farm set up like I want it to, instead of having pre-built buildings I can't do anything with. You've been playing the series for a while, all the way back to the 13. Oh man, that's really awesome. It really is, especially when you find like a franchise you really like. But yeah, this was actually recommended to me by one of you guys, so I decided to check it out, and I have had trouble putting it down ever since. We're 29% full of rocks. Do. Good morning, Charlotte. I hope you're doing good today. Evening and afternoon, I guess, depending on where you're at, right? I like having one big field instead of like 3 little fields. I like that a lot better. I think if I was up at the starter place again, I think I would probably paint over the fields once you start getting a couple more fields elsewhere, and make that like a place where all my stuff was. Because those front 2 field areas are really flat, and you could probably get some really good buildings in there. Still morning for you too? Nice. Got a nice rolling hill over here. My friend spent ages doing logging, I think. Yes, it is in this game. There's actually, right next to our house is the Carpentry Shop. But yeah, there's hold on, escape. Saving content, that's nice. There are production chains. So this little conveyor belt looking thing. Oh, that didn't help you guys at all. I'm so sorry. I was gonna show you something cool, and then I just got my thunder stolen from me. It's fine. So here's the carpentry thing. You can actually purchase that if you wanted to. And then you would cut down trees and feed it logs and stuff like that. There's a sawmill, I think. There's quite a bit of things. You can also hit P for purchase. Go down to the 3 bars down here and construction. And they do have production tab. And you can buy a bakery, a carpentry shop. So you can put it down here, see? One type of bakery. A dairy. You can buy a grain mill, which we will be purchasing. We can also buy a spinnery, so it does wool or cotton. There's a sugar mill. There is a tailor shop, so once you spin your wool, you can toss it in here. There's a cereal factory. There is an oil mill. There's grape processing. And there's another bakery. I think if we do a bakery, ours will look like this instead. Another carpentry shop. Another type of dairy. And then selling points. You can also buy selling points. Like you can buy your own supermarket. Or biomass heating plant. Fast food restaurant. Debris crusher. So this little, where the rocks go after this. But yeah, so you can do all of that. He made a contraption for the controls, Madmen for logging. Nice. I played Lumberjack Dynasty and I enjoyed it. Oh, Goober, you gotta turn it. Gotta lower it down so it can pick up the rocks. Try it again. Ready, go. There we go. Now the little stones, they were saying when you cultivate, if you use a certain thing, you can just roll them underneath and it doesn't even matter. You don't have to actually pick them up. But I like picking the rocks up just because I don't want the rocks there. Also, this is much easier because we used to use a sledgehammer, an iron spike, and a pickup. And then us kids would have to go out there and break up the big rocks in the field and then throw them in the back of the pickup. So this is much easier. Like I said, I was like, I didn't realize how few of machines we actually had growing up until I started playing this game, and I'm like, holy crap, there's so many things. I don't know what 90% of this does. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Baling hay and stuff like that. That was all done by hand. And a pickup truck and a flatbed trailer. A little tiny guy. It was like back when you'd get smacked in the mouth for saying child labor laws. Right? Which is hilarious because those child labor laws don't apply to your family, I don't think. I could be wrong. I could have been lied to my entire life. I don't know. It's fine. Not the same laws when you're a child. Yeah, so I think I was 15 and I had to go through like a literal legal process, like go to the courthouse and everything to get papers to work at the library for the summer at 15. It was like my 5th job that I was doing at the same time, but to actually work in a place that wasn't owned by an actual business. How explain that? I mowed lawns, I ran cattle in the stockades, I did a bunch of stuff when I was a kid. But yeah, at 15 I decided I wanted to work in the library in the summer because I really loved books. And yeah, I had to go to the courthouse, get papers so I could be an underage worker. It was really weird. I was like, dude, if the kids want to work, let them work. Medieval Dynasty. I think Quimby had it right the other day when he said, I look at my little 7-year-old niece and ask why she's not at work today. There's a lot of mushrooms in this field. Like I said, you don't have to sit here and comb every single rock out of here. You could do it sporadically and just drive by and do the stuff. You don't have to do it as meticulously as I'm doing. I feel more comfortable making sure it's done. Because I don't want to have to pay a lot of money to get the machines fixed because I didn't take time to do something. Plus, this game, ironically enough, is not a race. You can make it a race, but it does not need to be a race. It is actually really relaxing. And if you get zoomed out far enough, even the noise and stuff is just kind of in the background, kind of soothing. You can turn on the radio, but I don't know if it's copyright stuff, so I try really hard not to have the radio on. But you can turn the radio on, you can flip channels. It attaches to some Discord music player thingies. It's actually pretty nifty. Let me see here. 5, 4. Yeah, we'll do that one, but I'm not gonna for very long. But yeah, see, it's the Discord right there. Alright. I'm gonna turn that off because I don't want to get in trouble. It's like, I'm not rich enough to pay the copyright fees, so we're just gonna turn that off. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got several different music channels, and then it links in some Discord music stuff too. I didn't touch any of that, by the way. It will say that Giant Software did not approve the channels. Like, what's on the channels is not copyrighted by them, so they warn you before you turn the radio on. Like, switch over to the Discord ones. So they're like, hey, we're not responsible for whatever you're listening to. Yeah, it's a pretty chill game. It's nice and relaxing. Go at your own pace. I get a little over crazy sometimes, and I'll hop on either my other save or hop over on the network when I can see it, and run run contracts all day. That's kind of my preferred way of making monies, is contracts while I'm waiting for farms and stuff to go. As you can see, it's 9:19 in the morning right now because I have it on 0.5 speed. We could turn it on much higher speed. It goes up to 120 times speed. So if you want to blow past days and you don't have 1-day seasons, you can easily do that. Well, we're getting this field ready for next month, for August, since we have seasons on, because I want to plant wheat. Or sorry, September. August, September, yes. August we can only plant canola oil, and I don't care for that. Oil didn't have a additional production line behind it. Doom dooby doom 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 dooby doom 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 dooby doom 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 dooby doom. I keep forgetting I don't have to be on the tire tracks. You can see really teeny tiny rows, and that's actually part of it. The tire tracks are from the bigger tires. That teeny tiny row is from where the stuff was. So we're super de-rocking it. No rock survivors! You will be the last of your kind. Doo dooby doo dooby doop doop doom dooby dooby doom doom doom. Adventure time! I don't know how I feel about those mushrooms on the thing. I'm okay with them, and then I'm not okay with them. It's like a hit. I think it's just because it's distracting. I'm trying to see rocks, and this is distracting me. But it is cool. The weeds pop up like crazy. Like a mad, crazy thing. It's pretty awesome. And then you just use the sprayer on it, and they all disappear. Which is like super satisfying for some reason. I don't know. Like when the soil turns darker when I fertilize, it's super satisfying for me. I have no idea why. Also, they did an amazing job on the cinematic trailer for this game. So if you haven't seen the trailer for it, it's actually really good. Almost Budweiser beer during Super Bowl halftime. Good. Almost. With the little baby Budweiser full. That was a few years ago. I just want to throw that out there. Or actually, it could be very many years ago. I have been looking for a new TV series to watch. I haven't really seen anything that like stood out. I did watch a series called Foundation, and it was really good. Team of workhorses. I know, right? When you're plowing, they can fertilize at the same time. Because they're horses. I think it's pretty cool though. But yeah, we end up going for the wider spread ones just because it's faster. And I feel bad saying that because I'm like, I'm sure there's smaller machines that do amazing jobs, but I like getting in there and getting it done. Do 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 do. Ah, codfish. Man, look how much rocks we have. We're rocking along. Oh guys, hey! Happy December! It's a new month today. It's the last month of the year. So happy December, guys. You made it. You made it this far. Also, I woke up with Farm Sim freaking music in my head this morning. I wasn't even sad about it. I was just like, well, I guess we need to play some Farm Simulator. Trying to overextend. Well, we'll just plan on making another pass back. How about that? And then I don't have to worry about it. Doom. Do-doom, do-doom, do-doom. Doom, do-doom, 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 doom, doom, doom. And no, you absolutely did not have to get a truck this big. Or a tractor this big to start off with. You can absolutely get the smaller ones. I just picked this one because it was the mid-size one and I can do a lot of this stuff on it. 85% full of rocks. I'm actually kind of surprised about that, but that's cool. So once you do, if you end up buying, like you're playing in a multiplayer game, keep an eye on the used equipment as well. I know, I got a really awesome tractor from the used stuff as well. So what they're talking about is hitting P for purchase, and this little discount sign right here. See, they didn't change anything, but yeah, I bought a tractor for 65% off, and it was one of the bigger ones, and it was it was really cheap compared. But yeah, keep your eyes on this stuff. But subsoiler prepares field for next sowing, could be used instead of a plow. Fertilizer spread improves the harvest of your fields. Is this a fertilizer spreader? I didn't know what a subsoiler was, guys. I still don't know what a subsoiler is. And I thought the only subsoiler was a super teeny tiny thing. Do subsoilers plow? Actually plow? Like fix the plowed state? It says it can be used instead of a plow. The only thing I don't even understand it, but the only thing I use is like a cultivator. So many things. I got myself a John Deere times 9,000 combine for like 250k. Nice, 50% off. Beautimus. Okay, so this needs the bigger tractor because we have a 300 or 500 HP tractor. We need a 500 to pull this one. We have a 300. So what, you load fertilizer in here and it fertilizes and plows at the same time? Is this what this does? Does anybody know? Is anybody out there? No, I'm joking. I don't know how that works. It's fine. Okay, so you can't make new fields with the subsoiler. Okay. Yeah, there's so many things that do like similar things but not exact things, and it's super confusing for a newbie. So do not feel bad if you're lost in the sauce just starting this game, because there's a lot of information, like an insane amount of information. I'm a week in and I'm struggling with understanding what certain things do. That's why I like the fertilizer thing over there so much, because I understand that completely. I'm good with that. I understand that. That is the only piece of equipment in the game that I completely understand. That and this rock thing. That's about it. And that's okay, because this isn't like a game I'm only going to play for a couple hours and put it down. Which, thank goodness, because it's pretty spendy for a game. I did Deuce is doing a giveaway over in his Discord channel, and I did click on the button for the giveaway because you can't run a dedicated server without a copy of this game. Because I don't rent servers, I run my own servers. So in order for me to run it, I'm actually going to need a copy, and I didn't want to spend lots of monies to get another thing. Alright, so we're going to hit X to fold. we're gonna hit the map. Alright, where are we? We are... Uh-oh. Oh, there we are. We're right here. I was like, crud monkeys, where are we? Train, grapes, debris crusher. Alright, so a cool thing about this is you can hit the backspace to tag a place. And what that does is just make it flash. So that way when you use 9 and open your mini-map, you can see the little flashing icon on the map. So for people that don't know the place very well. So that works the same way when you're trying to sell your grain and stuff for the most monies. You can tag the place and go there. So whether it's a cereal factory, the oil refinery, the grain mill, the train area, it'll allow you to tag it. Oh nice, we're right here by West. Oh god. See what I'm saying? The people are crazy. It's fine. Park and ride. That's a whole thing, actually. I was kind of surprised. Alright, so I think this is the rock crusher up here, maybe? Yes? Maybe no? We're even with it? Okay, so that's not it. Ah, the big green circle right there. Never would have seen this. It's totally fine. Alright. We're gonna drive here. Start overloading. Which is basically just dump it. And that gave us 300 monies. I feel a little cheated, but that's okay. That'll pay for fuel. Also, if you are running a game by yourself, like a single player, you can use these Goldcrest Valleys places to dump your grain. Well, I don't even know what that... I'll look at that later. But, let's see here. I'm pretty sure this is the west one. Let me look. Grain Pull East. Grain Pull East. Rent the train. Goldcrest Valley. So that goes to Goldcrest. So this is the Grain Pull East. And they have another one on this side of the railroad tracks. The Grain West silo. You can drop your grain here and hold it like forever. Maybe they'd pay more if you didn't drop it on the ground. Maybe. I could have just drawn a smiley face in the parking lot with the debris. I should be happy I dumped it near the load area. They also won't work on jobs that require a plow. Okay, good deal. Railroad tracks. Does anybody else remember jumping those when you were a kid? With a pickup truck? Do 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 do. Our beautiful fields. Man, look at that. Alright, now that we did the rock crusher, we can do another round of fertilizer. Your town didn't have any tracks? We had a few. Few in different places. Q to unhook. Okay, Control Z. Full spread. It doesn't look like it's changing color. Hold on. B. 50%. Alright, so it wasn't a different soil type. Alright, so de-rocking doesn't do any subsoiling stuff on it. Okay. For some reason, the field state has to change for you to get the second fertilizer percentage on it. It's a very weird thing. Doop doop doom, doom doom doom. I need to turn all those on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's still light blue. Slightly concerned about that. Cute. Alright. Honestly, I'm not really sure what we need to do to get the next fertilizer on it. It doesn't have any weeds. It doesn't need lime that I could see. Yeah. It usually says blue at the bottom below weeds. Do 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 do. On the road again. Dum 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 dum. Alright, we're gonna go get a cultivator. Now, the cool thing about plows versus cultivators, but plows can actually allow you to redesign how your fields are. You can also go in the purchase menu, and there is a place where you can paint different things in there, including the ground. So you can change your entire field and everything else like that. Round out the corners so you can just do wraps versus back and forths. Doom 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 doom. Don't worry, farmer whose field this is. I made sure to make sure it won't hurt your crops by damage or running through them. Alright, next stop is Cultivators. Let's check the sale price. Okay, same sell thingies. Yes, the plow allows you to create fields. Now, here's a new thing. They have packages here. And what this is if you decide you want to do grain, here's some of your choices on things you could buy that you might need to be able to process the grain. Same thing with grapes. These are just types of things you need. Mulcher is supposed to be pretty good because it'll crush the stubbles and add a 5% bonus on top of your field for the yield. So it's a nice thing. It's just extra stuff. We're not doing any extra stuff. We're just doing normal stuff because I have enough trouble keeping up with just that. You have to turn on the option. Yes, yes. When you have a plow attached, it'll ask you if you want to create fields, and you turn it on. Yep, here's some more stuff. But yeah, they have packages so you can figure out what you actually need to be able to process this stuff, which is pretty cool, I think. Cotton's really expensive. I rented one of these. It was $25,000 to rent it, but I made $35,000 off of the stuff I harvested off of it. But it was expensive to rent. Doom 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 doom. See, they have the loggers and stuff like Farm Manager does. They have this, but they also have the tree grabber. So they do have the tree grabber and stuff too, but it's not in this spot. Animals. This water thing is actually pretty important. This is usually the one I grab because I use this to water my greenhouses when I have it. Yeah, cotton makes a lot of money. Plus, if you add in the fabric warehouse and then you add in the tailor shop, you'll have a whole production chain making you lots of money. Yeah, this is pretty cool. But yeah, this is for newbies like me that don't know what we're looking at. Wood chips. How many chips could a wood chip chip if wood chip could chip wood? I rented the potato one because the field I bought had potatoes in it. In the end, I would have been better off plowing over the potatoes. Merton, was it the one behind the house? Because I bought the 3 behind the house and one of them had potatoes on it, and I was trying to figure out how to do potatoes. That's hilarious. I'm glad I'm not the only one that knows the struggle. See, here's the plows, so you can get different types. We are looking at the spread because I'm not getting stuck with the little dainty guy. This one's 6 meters across. Now, the thing about plowing, it can pull up the big rocks in a field as well as the little ones, because it'll do the little ones no matter what, but the big ones will come up with a plow, more likely. So this is a 6 meter spread. This is a 4.9, and the rest of them are just no thank yous. And some of these are like super weird shapes when you unfold them. It's really crazy. Did you get a diplomat after 3 or 4 years of playing this game? Oh, diploma. Do you get a diploma? They have a academy now. Giant Software put out a academy for this game. I'll be checking into that later today. And they're taking suggestions on things we want to learn. I think that's pretty spiffy myself. So we're going to go to Cultivators, though. I'm more comfortable here. Do 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 do. Jeez, 14 meter spreads. These are shallow cultivators, by the way. This one has a really nice spread on it. It's 320 horsepower though, so we'll have to go one smaller. We'll probably have to do the red one. Oh no, we're not doing the red one. If that's 7.5 and that's 6. Okay, 7.5 I think is the biggest one. This one does up to 8 meters. But it's a 320 again. 6 meters. 5, 4, 3. So it looks like this one is within our horsepower of our current vehicle and has a decent spread on it. So it's going to be this one. And license plate 404 CUL space. And we want it on the back. Okie doke. Buy. Yes, please. Okay. Do 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 do. I needed it. Yeah, with the plow you can take do 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 do. You can take fields like this and plow it right down the middle and join these two fields together. That's pretty spiffy. Now, it does not change the numbers, so no matter how many fields you merge together, like Deuce, I think, has these two merged together, and it'll still say 48 and 49, but yeah, it's pretty nifty. I can teach you things they won't. You probably could. I'm getting better at this game, I think. I feel like I'm getting better at it. Alright, let's go. Do 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 do. Just one thing at a time. You must love the smell of diesel. I like the smell of gasoline, actually. Diesel's a little heavy for me. Is this seed, like you can buy seed from here? Is that what that is? Smell of a farm. I like cattle as a smell. I don't really care for pigs or a lot of chickens. Oh, that's a lime station? Okay, thank you. Do 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 do. Alright, we're gonna unfold this so we can see what our spread's gonna look like. I'll stop here because that car's crazy. Alright, it looks like about yeah. V to lower. Just a little tappity tap tap. Hit F3 or hit 3 and then it can cruise control. We don't have to push so many buttons. Parfum would be my go-to snuff. Let me scoot over a little bit. Alright, see it's changing the color, which is good. Even though the texture looks the same, that's what he's talking about. It might cultivate it, but it doesn't actually cultivate it at all. But it does change the color, so we'll be able to come back and fertilize this because we're changing the soil, whatever it's supposed to be called. Dooby 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 doom 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 doom. So when we were growing up and plowing the field, we would go around in a circle. But since I started playing this game, all the hired helps go in a line. And it's just a little weird for me, but I do it anyway now. Alright, B. Gonna miss a little bit. It's okay. We're just gonna drive. Do 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 do. I know we're like wasting time because we only have like a 3/4 of it in there, but it is what it is at the moment. Now, if you wanted to hire a worker to finish this, you would hit H. I wonder why. Yeah, exactly. I usually do. Like I said, if it was real life, we have our fields actually rounded off instead of squared like that, so you can just drive in a circle versus back and forth. I'm going to suggest not getting a job cutting football field. Well, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. V to lift. Ooh, I actually missed that. I was pretty sure I was going to hit that phone pole. Erk. Yeah, I won't be manicuring any golf lawns anytime soon. Do 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 do. If you've been enjoying the content community and like to support the channel, please consider following, subscribing, thumbs up, high five, low five, all the stuff and things here on Twitch, over on YouTube, and on Twitter. Your support, as always, is much appreciated. Aw, thank you. I tend to use more of circles by cutting the field in half, right? Well, I'll show you guys something that I may or may not regret. You're making me too nervous. Charlotte, be so happy you weren't here the first time I tried this out last Monday. Not this Monday, but last Monday. Remember, Gerd. I didn't have steer back on. That's a whole nother thing, guys. Lazy, if you're playing this, I'm going to show you something that will save your life. / make you hopefully not go crazy. Alright, V to lift. Pause. We'll get out of the road and be nice for 5 seconds. Alright, so there's a setting over here. Aw, thank you. There's a setting over here in the stream thingy, in the controllers. Let me think. It's a weird word. Steer back. Right here. Steering back speed. Adjust the speed at which the wheels turn to default position. Put this up to 100%. My God. Because it's on like 50, that means you have to manually turn your wheel back to get it to go back. And let me tell you this much. You would have gotten seasick trying to watch me last week. Because I just like tapping the keys. I don't like having to hold it and then figure out which way to turn it back after. It's just too much. It's too much, guys. Yay! So I do stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 Central Standard Time. And Monday and Friday I usually stream Medieval Dynasty, and we pick Farm FS22 up for our Wednesday game for a while until I get burnt out, which could be years from now. I don't know yet. We have so many games to play, it's not even funny. Not enough hours in the day. But Sheared Sheep's Gaming over on YouTube, I'm playing with his group. I'm running their Myth of Empires server right now. And so I'm playing with that group, and he streams over on YouTube at like 2 our time in the afternoon. So I'm usually way done streaming by then, so I just hop on there and play with him for a while. But I don't stream when he's streaming because they like stronger words, and I try to do I try to do mostly family friendly, which only took me 2 months to get situated. To reduce the swear words that came out of my mouth. Let's see. Hold on a second, Charlotte. Let me grab that for you. He's really chill. He's a nice chill dude. That's why I like hanging out with him. Doom da doom doom. Doom da doom doom doom. Doom da doom 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 doom. Eh. You know what? One of these days I'll learn how to add this in. Don't say Deuce doesn't. He doesn't. He totally does it. He makes the effort not to. We'll just put it that way. But I don't stream with Deuce. See, well, no, that's a lie. I have streamed with Deuce before because we were playing New World. But I don't record the stream. Yeah. So usually when I join other streamers, I'm not streaming at the same time. I'm just hanging out. Yeah, they use strong language sometimes, and I can't. I'm trying to keep this kid friendly because I have nieces and nephews that like to watch. Yeah, the first 2 or 3 months was definitely a struggle to get my my swear words down, because 20 years in the military. Watching your stream is like watching the Amazon show Clarkson's Farm. Nice. It's not like the McLeod's Daughters or whatever it was. I didn't ever get to watch that, but it was on my things to watch, and I never did watch it yet. Do 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 do. 2 years are already enough to get your profanity up to master level, and you're not joking. A car guy buys a farm. You should see my gaming rig inside the farmhouse over there. No, I'm just joking. You actually can't go in the farmhouses. That's alright though. Like I said, this is nice and peaceful. It's a good thing to do. Drink some coffee, chill out for a while. An hour and 40 minutes blinked and it's already done with. But yeah, I think I like this setup quite a bit. Got plenty of room to expand over there. I'll show you guys a couple more things as soon as we get done cultivating. If you guys decide you want to round your fields out or whatever you want to do with it. Do-do-do-do. There you go. Quimby's not here, so I have to do some moderating. People say join the military makes you dumb. Au contraire, you learn so many swear words. You're a professional. Yeah, yeah. You're not wrong. It's part of the culture. Ugh. I'm gonna stretch just a little bit. Eh. It's not bad. We got the field fertilized, de-rocked. We've got it halfway cultivated, and then as soon as we're done cultivating, we'll run the fertilizer right back over it, so it'll be 100% instead of 50, and the field will be completely prepped for next season. So I'm pretty stoked about that. The mushrooms are still there after we cultivated. I'm slightly worried that we're gonna have fungus in our crop. I don't think that's even a thing, but if it was, we would, because there's mushrooms. You're like, Tia, that's not crop fungus. I was like, I know. You know, we'd be making $1 bazillion if those were morale mushrooms. Oop. This is why I have steering on 80%. Can you imagine it at 100? We'd be doing backflips all over the place. Do 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 do. Just gonna drag our tractor behind us. It's totally fine. There was a tractor fight yesterday. I parked a tractor right next to the combine thing, and I guess it thought I asked it to hook up to the combine part, and those guys were fighting for like 5 minutes until Warnock came and rescued them. It was hilarious. I was like, dear God, calm down. That'd be funny if you could hook the combine up to the front of the tractor. Like, ready, go. But yeah, if you have 3 or 4 tractors and you have a lot of stuff to do, you can hire helps to do it. And on the mod hub, it has the subsidized farming on it, is what the mod is called. And I thought it was from Giants software, so I didn't know the mod hub was actual mod stuff. I thought it was the DLC for the game. But it's actually like a actual legit mod hub and DLC. But yeah, I downloaded that, and then I saw that one of the signs brings in $350,000 a hour, and I'm like, holy smokes, that's way too much. By the way, we haven't even finished an hour in the game yet, because I have it on 0.5 speed. Yeah, exactly, it's a mod to give money. You can use the subsidized local one and get 350 bucks an hour, and that will take care of half of one worker, which makes me feel like much better, because I don't know any field hand that gets paid $500 an hour. Because trust me, that would have been the profession I chose. At $500 an hour. But yes, it is a cheat. It is in the mods, and it is a download cheat thing. But you actually have to put the sign down for it to activate. So even if you download it by accident, it wouldn't trigger unless you put it down yourself. Yeah, I know. So here, let me hit H real quick. And keep in mind, see how fast the money goes down? And it hasn't even been a minute yet. And if we speed up time, they still drive exactly the same speed, because the speed only affects the day. Yeah, so I feel no guilt in having one of those green signs over there. Zero guilt at all. But yeah, he eats a lot of monies. Plant soybean and canola and you make money. Actually, in FS22, soybeans are the lowest monies you can get. Unless you decide to keep the hay off of the soybean or off the wheat, oats, and barley. If you keep it, the wheats, oats, and barley straw and not sell it, then soybeans are the fourth lowest crop. If you sell the hay, then the grain crops are actually decently high. But yeah, another streamer did that, like super spreadsheets and everything else. By the way, that turnaround wasn't me. That was the hired help. Just so you know. But yeah, soybeans in this one is low, is not very good monies. Yeah, if you're producing, if you're in the production chain, yes, Charlie, absolutely. But yeah, I watched that video yesterday to see what the best yields were for stuff, and turns out potatoes and sugar beets are like the $6,000 per crop on a field that on a soybean only gets 2,800 a crop without doing the oil conversion if you own the oil factory. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was really low. He was really sad because apparently soybeans is something he uses in a 19 Farm Sim 19. Soybeans makes you lots of monies. All right, we're gonna hit H again to fire that. Oh, guy. That was a little vindictive. All right, V. There we go. Just finish that out. We did it. Okay. But yeah, I don't feel guilty about having that sign because farm workers suck down so much monies. We don't need that stop sign there. I didn't like it anyway. Alright, X to fold. Eh. There we go. Doobie-doo-doo, doobie-doo-doo. Yeah, see, if I'd have run that over when it had seeds on it, it would have made it where you can't, or the seeds won't grow there. It's very unforgiving. And I'm super clumsy, so we have that turned off. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hit P for purchase. And we were talking about coloring. And I say that with a little bit of humor in my voice because we were talking about landscaping, painting, and so here's this. To make the brush bigger, you click Enter M, so like that, and you can take this and curve it around and it'll change that field type, that color. So we're gonna lower this down a little bit, back down to N. I wish we could angle it. I hate the fact that we can't angle it. Yeah, see? Right there. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. But yes, you can paint the ground in this game. You can also go over here and click plants. And paint in some grass. And then if, like I said, if you want to get rid of this here, if you want to curve that around, you can. You just paint over it, and then it takes it out of the dynamic map. Even the map will change once you do that stuff. Do-do-do-do, M. There we go. Nice little front yard. Beautiful. Okay. And that's that. You can also plant trees, which we don't want to do because we'll get our machine stuck on them. I'm not even going to lie. And then you can terraform as well. Oh, you can change the shape. Oh, ha, hold on. V for Victor? Nice, so you can do circle or square. Excellent. And then brush size M. And then it does cost money to do this, by the way, just heads up. And I kind of don't want to do anything with this yet. I want to leave it be for right now. Right, meow. But yeah, you can flatten, you can raise, you can do all kinds of little terraforming stuff. All kinds of stuff to do. There's decorations, which we all know that I will not be messing with. Your hedges, your stone gates, all kinds of cool little things. Not something I want to mess with, though. The only thing we might do is maybe a street light. Not that one, though. That one's hideous. It's for your safety. These giant... Jeez, that's a big light there. Just a little guy like that. That's going to get hit by a car in 5 seconds in my house. Oh, I am very much not. I have no skill in it, and I don't pretend I do. There are some very amazing decorator people, but I am not one of those people. Yeah, we'll be able to put animal pens and stuff over here. Look at that. Boom. Not enough money? How dare you? So this thing is actually really cool. It's a cow barn with a feeding robot. And you guys know how much I like robots. Somebody did say that chicken coops were OP. Like, insanely good. I'm tempted to go ahead and get a chicken coop for us, but I don't want to do that stuff yet. Right now we're just trying to get the field prepped. Oh, I know what I was going to do. With your guys' assistance, I need construction. Silo? Which of these do I need to be able to purchase fertilizer straight out of the thing? I didn't get a good look at that. I didn't know if it was the container. I feel like it's this one, but... It might have been this one. That one's really cheap. We'll go ahead and purchase that one. This is a water thing, so if you wanted to have this somewhere and buy water, we're not going to do that though. We're going to drive over to wherever the pond is and get water from there. The way it was the gas one, you had to fill it? Okay, that doesn't surprise me any. Let's hop on out of here. R to refill silo. Seeds. Mineral feed. Seeds, mineral feed. So it's only seeds. What's mineral feed? Probably animals. Alright, 27,000 we're going to buy. Yes. So basically when we pull up, we can put whatever seeds we want in there. And then that's good, because we do need that. Let's see what else we have. That'll make it where we don't have to go all the way back to the store every single time we need some seeds. P for purchase, construction, container. I bet you it's this one. I feel like it's this one. We're not doing liquid fertilizer because most of the contracts call for solid fertilizers. Let's scoot this over just a hair. There we go. R. Solid fertilizer, 100 million monies. Jeez. At least you can do it smaller, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and buy this because we'll actually use this much. Yeah, I'm sure. Buy money! Alright, there we go. Now we have a fertilizer and a grain silo. We're gonna go over here to the fertilizer because we're at 46% inside of our thing right now. And we're gonna open the cover in and R to start filling. And then it'll just fill it up. Boop. And to close it again and continue. That's beautiful. It just brings tears to my eyes. Uh-oh. Somebody's here. I'll be right back. Alright guys, my dad's here, so we're going to go ahead and finish fertilizing this field, and then I'm going to call it a day. Let's see here. And B for Bravo, there we go. B for Begin. Changes that beautiful different color. Do 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 do. Yeah, so this is all ready to go for September, and we'll plant wheat in September. Not too shabby. It took us 2 hours to set up our little place and get the first field ready. Not too shabby. I know it's a lot faster with people that actually do this a lot, but like I said, we're learning. Alright, let's see here. Last part. Let's get this done. So did you get the game downloaded yet? Let's see here. We're almost done. Yeah, I think once we get finished fertilizing this field, we'll call it for today. And then next episode, we will be planting some wheat on the field. Because we have seasons on, and the only thing you can plant in August is canola. So September we'll be able to plant our wheat. But yeah, like I said, if you want to be able to plant whenever and whatever you want to, turn seasons off. Alright, there we go. Fields, no more stones, fertilized, cultivated, and ready to go now. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you, and we'll be back on Friday at 9:30 Central Standard Time with some Medieval Dynasty. Take care, and I'll see you there. Bye, guys.